You have fully delineated the subject of impersonal Brahman as well as the knowledge derived therefrom. Why should you be despondent in spite of all this, thinking that you are undone, my dear Prabhu? This is spoken by Narad Muni to Vyas. We are in that section, still last few lectures, where Vyas was despondent, not knowing that he compiled the Vedas. Why is he feeling so despondent and not like he incomplete? So then Narad Muni appears. Subject matter here, it's speaking about Jigyasitam Adhitam Cha Brahma Yatat Sanatanam. Speaking about Brahma. For the human race, human society, if we have to come to some level of happiness, peace, prosperity, we have to get higher knowledge. We cannot depend on the knowledge what we are seeing and hearing. We cannot depend on this knowledge. There is higher knowledge available. The Vedas are compiled for us to get higher knowledge, what we cannot see. Just like now, someone may go around the streets of this town with a smartphone, and with that he'll query things which he cannot see. Direction to go somewhere, or contact of someone. He cannot speak to that person, so he's using the phone, he'll speak to him from there. He cannot know the direction, so he's checking that. He's querying through his smartphone. We don't have capacity to get all knowledge. We have to rely on something. So now Vedas are compiled for attaining higher spiritual knowledge. Brahma Gyan. We are looking and seeing matter, but we say, okay, Brahma Gyan is higher knowledge. Higher. It's not that material knowledge is not knowledge, but in Ishopanishad, it's explained that there is para and apara vidya. So vidya apara is this material knowledge. It's knowledge, but not so important. Then there's para vidya. That is very important. And that is difficult to get. As Bhagavad Gita says, ati guhya, guhya tamam. Difficult, you will not find it. No one will speak about it. It's very difficult. So material knowledge is inferior because what is our requirement? What is our requirement is that, and that knowledge if someone gives, that is more important right now, isn't it? Like if someone is in desert, he's having lack of water, and someone can, hey, you're standing, take a chair, sit. No, I need water, I'm dying, I need water. You sit down first of all. No, I don't mind about that. So right now we are being filled with material knowledge. It is good, but that's not what we need. We need it to some extent. But even if we don't have this, somehow we'll survive. How will we get money? We'll put a seed in the earth, the crops will grow, we'll get the food, milk the cow, get milk. We'll get our necessity. But what we need now is this Brahma Gyan. That is not being imparted. So therefore this is para because it is more required for us. And it is higher, knowledge means to know. Knowledge means useful data, you can say. So what is more useful for us now is this spirit. Why? Because I'm seeing the material world, but I'm not seeing what's behind it. This material world is not factual. It's not factual in the sense, I think I am this body, and I think these bodies are related to me, family, and I'm thinking that rain is coming because from the cloud. This is not a fact. We know that actually we are souls, and we know that rain is given by Indra, but we cannot see him. Rain is given by Indra. And who's governing the wind? I can't see anyone. So I'm accepting there's no one. The wind is just moving itself. No. Vayu is there, but you cannot see him. Yeah, that is the problem. We cannot see. We cannot see behind the matter. Behind matter, finally, is spirit. Spirit is the basis. Everything came from the spirit. I cannot see it. And how will I see? I cannot see it. With these eyes, I cannot see. I need a source of knowledge, something that will explain me about everything. Who will give this knowledge? So just like my body is growing. Actually, it's not growing. 11th Canto Bhagavatam explains, it's not growth. The body is manifesting every second. Every second I have another body. It's not the same body that I'm adding on something. Like I have some soil, then I put more soil, add it, and I can make something. It's not like this. This body is being destroyed and created every second, but I cannot see it. We are calling growth. So, the building block for the body is the matter. Where is it coming from? How is it coming? It's coming from the soul. I am a soul, I am in the body. Therefore, matter is being generated in this. Matter in my body is coming from the spirit. Where is the digestive juices coming from? I am putting the food inside. What's happening? Everything is being produced because of me, my soul, myself. I am producing the matter. So in this way, I can produce sweat. This sweat is salty, it has salt. But where is the ocean coming from? Where are the mountains coming from? Where did this mass of earth come from? This comes from the great spirit. I am a spirit, I produce this. There's another spirit, he's producing everything. We cannot see. We are in ignorance. We need another source of knowledge to tell us beyond everything. And just by seeing and accepting this is factual, this is not intelligence. That is like an animal. Animal sees and he's not able to figure out what's happening. In Diwali time, well, there'll be no Diwali now. Government banned fireworks. But Diwali time, what happened? What happens? That all the animals run away. They can't understand what is happening. They're hearing loud sounds. If we hear loud sound, we get afraid. But we understand this is a firecracker. I don't have to be afraid. The animals cannot see that. They only what they're seeing, they're accepting. We are not animals. We have to see beyond this material world, beyond this body, beyond everything. We have to see that. They are sources of knowledge. And how will we know if we don't read the Vedas? If I didn't read Vedas, or if I didn't speak to someone who read the Vedas, I'll not know about God. I'll not know about Vaikuntha. I'll be in ignorance. This ignorance is a hellish condition. To live a life without knowing anything, just living, thinking that any time this asteroid will hit us, be careful. Any time an asteroid can smash this planet, any time a sinkhole will come, we'll fall in. No, there is an order, there is a system in this world, nothing is happening by chance. As we quoted last time, that Bhishma Sat Vata Pavate, the wind blows in fear of God. Bhishma Sat Surya Udaya, sun is rising out of fear of God. They are all working. There is a system. They are following and coming. So we will not know. We will not know all these things. So Vyasadeva did a great job, did a great service to humanity by compiling the Vedas, by which we can see even materially. And all the knowledge systems we have today are coming from the Vedas. Periodic table, what is that? Hypothesis theorem. Huh? Yeah, Pythagoras theorem. This is coming from Veda. Don't let people cheat you. Who built the aeroplane, who built the light bulb, everything is from the Veda. They might have added something to it. So now we can understand what are the Vedas. If it's not here, what will we be, our human society? A lot is being hidden, but even what we have now, we understand this is from the Vedas. Because we, Jiva, are born in ignorance. Sarva Bhutani Sammoham Sargayanti Parantapa. Krishna says, all these Jivas, they are born in ignorance. They don't have knowledge. Veda has given the knowledge, and it's coming from rishis. Even cooking, everything is coming from there. So what we do understand that, Vyas compiled this material knowledge, but he also compiled Brahmagyan, the Upanishads. Upanishad, that's a very small part of the Vedas. It's telling us how this material world is sitting, what is it sitting on. A person will enter a company, He'll see so much activity, people are going, coming, and there's announcement, we understand there's a manager. And if you want to understand something, you say, I want to see the manager, let me go to him, I'll understand everything. I want to know who's the manager, why? Something is wrong in the service. I want to complain. So you see the manager because he will know everything, he will know everyone. I understand the manager is the underlying force between the company. So here we have to understand the underlying force that what is making this material world move. And our body. This is Brahman. Brahma Gyan is knowledge of this underlying spiritual energy. So, but as we said, this is very small part. And that is Upanishads. And then Upanishads are further refined and produced in Vedanta Sutra. That is also a very small part. And generally, who will read it? Sannyasis. Upanishad is meant for sannyasis. Because even to understand, you need a background coming from. It's like lifelong study you have to have. But then, the most of the Vedas are sense gratification, to say it. Krishna said to Arjuna, when he was explaining him about why he should fight this war. So then Arjuna spoke so many words. Then he said, Pragyavadam bhashate. You're speaking like a learned man, but you don't know anything. There is much more. You're not even mentioning about soul, about spirit. So he started to explain Arjuna about these concepts. Then he told Arjuna, Triguna Vishaya Veda. The Vedas, they are mostly based on Triguna, Sattva-gun, Rajagun, Tamagun, which means in a technical word, sense gratification. Triguna Vishaya Veda means Triguno Bhava Arjuna. Arjuna, now come above this. Come above this material mode, come above how I'm going to enjoy body, this world. You have to come higher than this and understand higher knowledge. So then he begins to narrate Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is Upanishad. In the beginning of our ISKCON Gita, it's written Gita Upanishad. It's the highest of the Upanishads. Even the language and the shlok. If you read Mahabharata, a lot is written in shlokas. Some part is written in prose, not in a poetic way, some part. But then shlokas are there in a long way. They're not in a... Then when you come to Bhagavad Gita, it's written in a different way. This is an Upanishadic style. Short verses conveying deep meaning, and in a meter you can chant it. So this is Upanishadic. And this Upanishad Gyan is for people, it's meant for the higher thinking people. So then Krishna told Arjuna, so go beyond the three modes of nature, beyond this body, this material world. Now try to understand about soul and spirit. But again, he didn't say anything about God. So then now we are saying that if someone has to go beyond this material world, and beyond this material body, in other words, my senses, my understanding now is based on body and this material world. I want to go beyond. Then we have to understand Brahman. The Brahman, which is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, is something which is pervading this whole world, pervading everything. And Krishna says about, in the chapter 14, about this Brahman. So if someone has to go beyond the material world, which is instructed in the Vedas, we have to go beyond. And so for that, we need to know about Brahman. And one who seeks after that knowledge, that is called Brahma Jigyasa. That I want to know about the Brahman, the spirit that is underlying the material world. Only then can we go beyond the body. Otherwise, my knowledge is everything is in this body, let me enjoy. But then if I understand there's something higher, I want to understand that. So that knowledge has to come. That is in Upanishads. So that is higher. And generally it's not spoken of. Mass of people are not interested because you can imagine we all came here. Why? Krishna Boli, Seji, Bhogavancha Kare. We came to enjoy. No one is going to, generally speaking, inquire about God here. We left Vaikuntha to enjoy, so why shall we come here and find Krishna, generally speaking, as a rule. Anyone who comes to a supermarket comes to buy goods, to buy things. So we came here looking for sense gratification. Krishna Boli Seji, Bhogavancha Kare. Nikatast Maya Tara, Japatya. Therefore, Maya brought us here. So now, having come here, who's going to ask about Brahman? No, hardly. They'll not. But who asks? Two categories. Well, 4 categories are given in Bhagavad Gita. Who asks? One is Mudha. Mudha, this is given. Mudha is translated as ass or donkey. So there it's explained. Krishna says, Naman dushkritino mudha. Dushkritino mudha prapadyante naradhama maya prahita jnana asuram bhavam ashritaha. 4 kind of people who will come to me, Krishna says. One is mudha. Now, mudha is defined as the donkey, and Prabhupada is explaining, like the donkey carries a lot of hay. Or another thing, they carry, this example is given, like the dhobi, you know the dhobi. He'll put a lot of cloth. Now you have these washing machines, that before it was different. They'll go to the ocean, river, wash the cloth, then pile the cloth on the ass, and he'll walk. And ass can run away, he's not running, he's waiting when he'll give me the things to carry, he'll carry. And what is he thinking? He's thinking, I better do what he's saying because he'll give me grass. I have to eat grass. So he works like donkeys, very hard, very struggling. But then, actually that grass is everywhere. This donkey doesn't realize. If I leave this dhobi and I give up, I'll get grass anywhere. But he cannot figure that out. So Prabhupada explains, one category of people, they work very hard thinking, I'm going to get something, some money, but actually this karma is there, we'll get it. That understanding is there. So because of that hard work, they'll not get time or energy or whatever to come to Krishna. Dushkritino. Dushkrita means dushkriti, that someone is very expert, meritorious, kriti, but he's using in a wrong way. In other words, sinful people. Dushkritina. Sinful people will think how to commit sins, then they'll not think about surrendering to Krishna. Dushkritino prapadyante naradhama. Naradhama is defined as people who live unregulated life, not following prescribed duty according to Varna and Ashram, which is 99% today. But that time Varnashram was intact. So those who followed Varnashram were pious, and those out of Varnashram were not. So they followed certain time of eating, sleeping, waking, and following samskaras and these things. And so Naradhama, that was defined as someone who is not following. This is all of us. Adhama. Then Asuram Bhava Ashrita, a person who is atheist, basically, atheist, rejecting, hating God, going against God, he'll also not surrender. And 4th category, Maya Apahrita Jnana. These are people who are very intelligent, scientists, philosophers, but because of going against God, it said that God has taken away their real knowledge about the spirit, about Brahman. They'll not understand anything about God and spiritual. Why? Krishna took away. Maya Apahrita. Maya took away that knowledge. Why? Because they're sinful. They don't want to use the intelligence to come to God. So they'll not be able to figure out how to, because they're in a challenging mood, they'll not be given the way to come. So this Brahman, to understand, is very rare thing. Most people don't want, they won't. But Upanishads explain in detail. They start explaining the nature of Brahman. What is the nature that is given very clearly in Upanishads. And people who study, they call Jnanis. Jnani study. So people who reach that level of seeking, they may come to Upanishads. There they'll seek and realize the difference between matter and spirit. That's what's given. What is the nature of Brahman? That it doesn't have gun. The material energy cannot touch it. So it's pervading everything. And when we come on that level, we are free from Maya. In the whole creation, it's there. So it has no material touch. It is eternal. So here it's explained. Narad Muni is telling Vyas, Jigyasitam adhitam cha brahma yattat sanatanam. You have delineated about Brahma very clearly, very nicely. you explained about Brahma. This Brahm, if I show in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14 of Bhagavad Gita, the last verse, because it's speaking about material energy, chapter 14, if you remember, they're discussing Triguna, the material modes of nature. So the whole chapter 14 is speaking about matter. But at the end of chapter 14, it's speaking about Brahman. Then it's Krishna says there that I am the source of the Brahman, and all the material things come from there. So in Brahma Samhita it's explained that the matter comes from Brahman. Brahman is energy, all-pervading, avyakta. And from there, that is spirit, and matter comes from there. Similarly, in my body, hair, nails, growth, everything, all the chemicals are coming because there's a soul. Soul is producing them. Matter comes from spirit. This whole material creation came from the great spirit, God. Spirit is the origin of matter. We cannot see that. So we don't know. But those who study Upanishads, who study the Vedas, they come to that knowledge. So Vyas did a great thing. He compiled this and gave Gyan. He gave knowledge to human society by which they could understand this. So what is that knowledge in Upanishads? Explaining this is matter, this is spirit. Matter is like this, spirit is like this. Spirit is eternal. It says in very different ways, different language. And then it also speaks about Atma, that Atma is eternal. Atma is not part of this material world. Atma is having quality of spirit, Chit Shakti, Chinmay, and this is Jada, matter. So in this way, we get higher knowledge about Brahm, but higher than Brahm, something is there, Paramatma. One who attains knowledge of Brahman, he realizes Brahman, he becomes eternal, he doesn't take birth again. Brahma realized. And there are people who worship, who meditate on Brahman, and they become very effulgent and bright. They attain eternality. Eternality in the sense, they don't take birth again. They sit in the Brahman energy. And how is that? To us, that is very happy, in a happy condition. Now, why is that? Because right now we are contaminated by Maya, Guna. Because of Guna, we are suffering. In how? We have desires, material desires. Rajogun pushes us to enjoy this body. It is mostly characterized by sex, but not only that, something good for eating also, something good for seeing, good music. This is Rajogun. When Rajogun is not there, I am happy just sitting here. I don't have to do anything. I am sitting. This is called Atma Rama. The person who is self-realized, he is happy just sitting. Doesn't have to go to cinema movie. Doesn't have to go anywhere. He may be in the society like you, but he's realized. He's called Brahma Bhuta stage. Realized person. He attained Brahman. He attained this Brahman. So, if you come on that platform, we are not under Maya, but we are still in avidya. Avidya means he doesn't know who he is still. Who is he? Who is Atma? That's all. What other attributes are there? Yeah, but Atma is servant of God. But Brahma realized doesn't know that. But what he knows is, I am not part of this material world. But that's a big step. It's a big step for people who are living simply serving their body, trying to be happy, seeking happiness. But now person who's Brahman realized, he doesn't do that. He's happy. Why? Because Guna is not giving him desire, material enjoy. He's not there. He's just sitting, he's happy. This is a big stage. And they say, Bhagavad Gita says, Manushram sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddha. Out of thousands people, only one person you will find who's trying to attain this. It's a high stage. But that's not the highest. Now Vyasadeva, he compiled about Brahman. He says here, Narad Muni is telling Vyas, you have fully delineated the subject of impersonal Brahman. and the knowledge of that. But why are you still upset? You explained about Brahman, why are you still upset? But he didn't explain about Paramatma and Bhagavan. They are stages. Vadanti tattva vidas brahmeti brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdyate. That tattva vidha, those who know the truth, they know it as Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. Vadanti tattva vidas tattvam yaj jnanam advayam. Jnanam advayam means that knowledge which is advaya. Advaya is means non-dual. In very technical in Vedanta they explain non-dual means something of which there's only one type. It's about the absolute truth. Absolute truth is only one. So that is called advaya jnana. And everything connected with absolute is absolute. His name, his lila, everything. So now Vyas explained about Brahman, but that is not the highest. Brahman, higher than that is Paramatma. If we attain Brahman, we become eternal. If we attain Paramatma, then we get knowledge, Gyan. What is that Gyan? I get knowledge that, okay, I am not part of this material world, but I am a spirit soul. I am a spirit. And there's next to me another super soul, Paramatma. I can meditate on him. If we attain Paramatma realization, then not only Sat, but we get Chit, knowledge that I am a soul. That's also higher. Now that is higher than Brahman realization. But that was not also clearly given in the Vedas. Some part is given. So Vyas had not mentioned that. Now, again, beyond Paramatma is Bhagavan. A person who realizes Bhagavan, only he can be happy. That happiness, actually Brahman realize are happy, they're not happy because they're happy because I'm not suffering anymore. Just like we work hard, Monday to Friday, very hard. On Saturday, I'm sitting, I'm happy. Actually, we're not happy. We just didn't go to work, so we are happy. It's not that we are feeling some positive happiness experience, but there's absence of suffering. Suffering has gone away. Oh, you're saying this is great, this is great. What am I doing? I'm sleeping all day Sunday. Or I'm not doing anything. I'm sitting watching TV. It was a great day. I really had a good time. But we did not have a good time. We don't know what is good time. So in that way, it's happy condition, Brahman. And it's eternal, no birth and death. But the happiness is only in Bhagavan. When we come to Krishna, that Bhagavan stage, that is very happy. It's so happy that when Bhagavatam was being discussed, for 7 days nobody ate or drank water or ate food, they were just listening. And then Parikshit Maharaj was commenting, you are speaking and I'm hearing and I didn't eat anything, but I don't mind. Of course, we are not on that level. Don't worry, there's prasad after. But if someone came on that platform, then just by hearing, we are so happy. We are so much in bliss. Vyas did not give knowledge of Bhagavan. He gave Upanishads. Prabhupada right here, Vedanta Sutta or Brahma Sutta compiled by Vyas is full of deliberation on the impersonal absolute truth. So Narad said, Jigyasitam, you deliberated, Adhitam, on the knowledge of Brahma Yattat Sanatanam. You have explained about the eternal Brahman. So, and you mentioned about Upanishads and Brahma Sutra, still you're upset. Why? Well, why is because he didn't mention Bhagavan. We are in this material world. We cannot transcend this material creation unless we come to level of Bhagavan. If we come to Brahman, we can temporarily come out of here and enjoy that happiness of absence of suffering and remain in the Brahman energy, Brahma Jyoti. But we cannot really be happy and stay there. We have to come down again because we are not happy. The only way for Jiva to be happy is for him to go to his original state, original constitutional position. For that we need knowledge of Bhagavan and knowledge that I have to serve him. A person who comes to level of Brahma Gyan, Brahman, Brahma Bhuta, all his sinful reactions are destroyed. He will not take birth again, no subtle body. But avidya is there. He doesn't know his identity. So again he will have to come down. The tendency for him again to enjoy matter will come back. Even though it's gone, it will come back. Due to avidya, kut will come again, the desire. Only when we come in contact with Bhagavan can we remain in a permanently happy condition. So if we don't have that knowledge, whatever religious system we are following, it's not eternal. We will have to again come back. Maybe not immediately, or maybe unless from wherever we go further, because different religious systems take you anywhere in this world. But if we don't go to Goloka, wherever we go, we have to from there go further to Goloka, to Vaikuntha. So the constitutional position of the Jeev, if that is realized, then that is Gyan. That is the highest knowledge. If that is not given, then we really do not have knowledge. We don't have Gyan. Avidya is there up to the point I realize my relation with God. All of us have a relation with God, with Krishna. In Vaikuntha, all of us have a personal, eternal relation. We lost that identity. It's called Swarup. When we attain it and we're in contact with Krishna, then no Maya can come in contact, can infect us again. Maybe even we are still in this material world. For us to transcend this material world and come out of the pulling power of these material senses, we have to attain Bhagavan. Because that happiness is so great and blissful that we can turn away from it. Otherwise we cannot turn away. It's very strong. Krishna says, Daivi yesha gunamai mama maya duratyaya. This gun, Daivi yesha gunamai, it's Daivi, it means it's mine. It's not, it's finally it's under me. Maya duratyaya, it's difficult to come out of. Again, the question is, why should I come out? Why we come out? Because it's suffering. Samsara tapan akhilan avapnoti atra santatan. Vishnu Puran explains that if we have really knowledge, we come to the point, I want to stop suffering, then come out of gun. The gun is making us suffer. You have to come out of that. So if you want to come to a position of happiness, then one has to come to a realization of Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Realize Krishna, His name, His Leela, everything. Once we realize that, then we can come to happiness. For that we need guidance. We needed Shastra. And we need people who study Shastra and can give us that knowledge. This is needed. Now he has given this knowledge, Vyas. Later on he gave it. But now there's a controversy. Shall we worship God in a personal or impersonal form? It's not really controversy. It's people who didn't read Shastra, they say, properly. They are impersonalists. But here in our Bhagavad Gita clearly it said, Arjuna asked a question because even that time there's a controversy. Krishna, shall I worship you as an impersonal or personal? He asked that, Evam satata yuktaye bhaktastvam paryupasate ye chapi aksharam avyaktam tesham ke yuga vittama. He's saying that your bhaktas, they worship you always in your personal form. Evam satata yuktaye bhaktastvam paryupasate. Is that higher? Or ye chapi aksharam avyaktam, those who worship akshara, the imperishable avyaktam Brahman, those who are trying to attain Brahman realization, realize Brahman. So who is better, Krishna? Shall we realize Brahman or shall we worship your form that I am seeing? Then Krishna speaks, and who's speaking? Krishna, who wrote the Vedas, who knows everything. He spoke directly. He says, Klesho adhikatarastesham avyakta asakta chetasam. Those who are attached to worshipping my impersonal form, they will suffer a lot. There's a lot of suffering because he said, avyaktihi bahu dukham deha vadbir avapyate. Those who have taken a form, human form, they're in a very bad predicament. We're in the cycle of birth and death. So for them, they have to come back to the personal nature of God to stop suffering and to be detached from the matter. They have to come to the personal form. So Krishna said in 2 verses, very clearly in this verse. So now the worship of personal form is a great step from Brahman. It's such a great step that, what is the proof that Srimad Bhagavatam is transcendental? You see, some people, they mistake. In Bhagavatam they give Gopi Leela, and if you read Krishna's interaction with gopis, they think some mundane boy or girl. But just look at this logic. That there are people who are Brahman realized. Example was Shukadev Goswami himself and Chatursana, the 4 Kumaras. They were Brahman realized. They were realized. They understood, I am not this body, I am not suffering, I am not attracted to sense gratification. But they heard Krishna Leela, they got attracted. Now, if they are not having material desire, then they are not relishing they'll not relish it if this is material. But they became attracted. That means it is spiritual. This is the logic. Why is Bhagavatam not material narrations? Because those who are Brahman realized, they get attracted. They'll not be attracted to material things. So the pastimes of Krishna are spiritual. They are 100% spiritual. But now the problem is that, Veda is giving this gyan. But the problem is that lack of faith. Now, some are openly saying, no, I am not having faith. Some are not saying. They're quiet, thinking. But deep inside that is idea, okay, you're saying that, but the proof is that they're not able to take it fully. Because doubts are there. Because doubts are, how can this be true? Maybe it's true, maybe. So, it's a now kind of fashion to be scientific and all that. Even Prabhupada now, that's why he resorted to that. Actually, it's scientific and logic is there in Vedanta Sutra, very much so. But then the Puranas are a lot just giving gyan for people who could not come to that level of intelligence. But this fashion is that any like a philosopher or scientist, politician, they cannot say God. They lose all credibility. They'll not be allowed to continue. If they say God, hey, you're a scientist, why are you speaking about God? You're an educated person. You have PhD, why are you speaking about God? They'll say that. So, but they'll have faith in Google. You ask Google, ask Alexa or Siri, and they'll give you knowledge, I accept it. But they'll question Bhagavad Gita. And who made these apps? AI, Google, these are people, businessmen, people who are earning money. And who wrote the Vedas? People who are pure, austere. They were eating minimally, sleeping minimally. A lot of them were celibate. They wrote the Vedas. Still, somehow people have more faith there than here. Some say, as I said, that some say they don't accept God, others don't say, I don't accept Veda. But it's permeating the society now, this non-acceptance of Veda. And the answer is that if you want to say anything, you have to say scientist. You can't say Veda. So this is our very serious predicament, that we are stuck in this world and the medicine is in the Veda, how to come out, and we don't have faith. And that's why Srila Prabhupada set up 3 institutions. One is ISKCON. Second? Huh? What?
Book trust.
Yeah, book trust. Bhaktivedanta book trust. What is the third one? You know, Suraj? This is very important. What is the third society? Because Prabhupada set up 3 institutions. The third one is called Bhaktivedanta Institute. It is on internet, bin.org. What was their task? Prabhupada said, you have to smash these scientists. You have to discredit and scientifically prove Veda, because as long as scientists are here in charge and people are surrendered to them, no one can take bhakti. They will not take bhakti. It will not pervade in the society, because people are surrendered to the scientists and they are speaking atheistic points. They are saying that we are made of matter and what we see is all in all. There is no Brahman. They don't talk about Brahman, just this material world. Now, Prabhupada said, these are the demons in society. When you say, I mentioned many times this point, that one of Prabhupada's disciples, his name is Asurakula Nashana Das. He took Diksha from America. This comes in one bhajan. You know which one? This is in Yashomati Nandan, Namakirtan. Govindam Ada Navina, and somewhere it comes. Asura Kula Nashana. Huh? Now where does that come? The beginning line, I forgot. Anyway, Asura Kula Nashana, that comes in Nama Kirtan, this song. That Krishna destroys the demonic dynasties. So Prabhupada gave him Diksha, your name is Asura Kula Nashana, everyone clap. Then he asked him, who are the Asuras? Who are the demons in our society? So he said, Mayavadi. Prabhupada said, no, scientist. Prabhupada said, these scientists have taken hold of people's minds. They are feeding atheism. And now when you come with religious, but they are trained and designed to reject. In the school, if we bring it, reject it. In politics, reject. Scientists, philosophers, they reject it. We cannot bring bhakti now. So Prabhupada, we have to change the society. People have to become subservient to Shastra and Sadhu. And that is the task of Bhaktivedanta Institute. They are all devotees, but scientists. And they presented the knowledge of Shastra scientifically, and they presented the spiriton. Have you heard of spiriton? Atma, proton, neutron. They wrote papers explaining there's another substance called spiriton. What is the nature of spiriton? Cannot be destroyed. Spiriton is pervading everything, like the proton and neutron. There's also the spiriton. So they present it like this scientifically. And they have a magazine, it's called Savigyanam. This is from Bhagavad Gita in one shlok, where Krishna says, Jnanam teham savigyanam igdam vakshami asheshataha. That Arjuna, now I'll speak to you complete knowledge, material and spiritual. Jnanam, savigyanam. And that Vijnana means spiritual. So their magazine is called Savigyanam. So this task that Prabhupada gave was to the Bhaktivedanta Institute is to again bring people subservient to the Veda. Otherwise, it's hard to take bhakti. It's hard because we are subservient to the scientists. They're atheistic. They rejected everything spiritual, Brahman, Atma, nothing. Nothing. So it's a big task, but it's very clear what has to be done. It's in our way we have to spread the knowledge. In another way we have to refute these scientists. And again we repeat many times, we are not against science. We are not against scientists because we are scientists. But we are against atheistic science, which is blocking people from getting the liberation from birth and death. And then these are asuric. Asuric means taking people away from Krishna. So finally, if someone can come out of that mindset, they can surrender to Veda. It's a very great experience because you can directly read the words of God and there'll be no bar between you and Krishna. Krishna and Veda are non-different. It said Veda Narayan Sakshat Iti Shushushrama Yamadutas. When Vishnu Dutas stopped them from taking Ajamil, you know the Ajamil Lila in Srimad Bhagavatam, they stopped. Then Vishnu Duta said, you don't know religious principles. Why are you taking this man? He's sinful. No, but he chanted name of Narayan. Who's Narayan? They didn't understand. Then they went later and asked Yamaraj. But Vishnu Duta asked them, okay, what do you know? Let's hear from you. What are your principles? Veda pranihito dharmo. Veda speak dharma. Here dharmastad viparyaya. What is not in Veda is adharma. If everyone brings anything, so-called different societies, yogis, babas, they speak something, but it's not in Veda, we reject. Veda pranito dharmo, hiya dharmastad viparyaya, Veda Narayan Sakshat. Veda is Narayan directly in written form. Iti Shushrama. This is what we heard from Yamaraj. Yamaduta said. So what is that? Veda Narayan Sakshat. If we can come to the point where I'm studying Veda and reading and accepting it, then there is no bar. Vishnu is directly communicating it. And whatever I read, whatever I need to read, he'll communicate in this way. This is Shruti. Shruti is meant to purify us. But this is Shruti recorded in text. But it's not different from Shruti spoken. As Prabhupada writes in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, in chapter 15, text 27. There, I was mentioning yesterday that Arjuna, after Krishna left, again he fell in Maya. And he fell in Maya But then he said that again, he said, I'm remembering. He said, he said that smritas chitam, again my consciousness, chitam smratash, I'm again remembering what Krishna said. And hrit tapa upashamani, and it is destroying the fire and the burning in my heart. Hrit tapa upashamani, it's extinguishing the fire. Just by remembering the Bhagavad Gita, I'm getting peace, I'm getting happiness. Govinda abhihitani me, what Govinda spoke to me, now I recall it, now again I feel purified. So Prabhupada writes in the purport that Bhagavad Gita was spoken in Kurukshetra 5,000 years ago. But right now here, supposing we are sitting here in JP Nagar, 5,000 years later, not in Kurukshetra, but he said there is no difference in potency between what Arjun heard and what we are reading. There is no difference. This is Divya Gyan. We are getting the same potency and power of Krishna, but the faith is the problem. That we have to remove the bar and accept that I'm reading and Krishna directly manifests and communicates to us. He'll purify us. He'll just purify. Nashta prayasha badreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya. Those who regularly hear from Bhagavatam, nashta prayashu abhadreshu. In the heart, whatever is there, which is anarthas, they're clean, destroyed. So it's a great task, again, that we have to bring people to Veda. We have to use also logic, reason. Veda themselves has that, Praman, explaining why we should only accept Veda as highest knowledge. But finally, we have to do that, because otherwise we cannot become happy. This is not our position. We belong at the feet of Krishna in his service. So that knowledge how to do is in Bhagavatam. Vyas had not compiled Bhagavatam. So he was thinking something is missing. This is missing. Brahman realization is there, Paramatma, but not Bhagavan. Finally we have to realize Bhagavan. Then happiness came. We will be happy. Hare Krishna. Any questions?
When the Brahman realization stage,
Yeah.
so they will be in the temporary arrival. So in that state of mind, if they are leaving the body,
Yeah.
so they practically do not have any desire.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So what will be the channel?
So one who realizes Brahman doesn't have material desire. So what is his destination? That's the question. Because he realized Brahman, his subtle body is destroyed. This means he doesn't have any more seeds of sinful reaction which have to happen. So he'll not take birth again. Jnanis, they destroy their path. But there's a problem. He didn't do bhakti. Because he didn't do bhakti, his spiritual body didn't manifest. Spiritual body can only manifest if we do bhakti. If I'm chanting Hare Krishna, reading Shastra, hearing Bhagavatam constantly, inside my Swarup, subtle, the spiritual form becomes to manifest and the subtle body is destroyed. If I reach bhakti, Krishna Prem level, that means my spiritual body fully manifested. I can enter Vaikuntha planet. So if I destroyed my subtle body, but I did not manifest my spiritual body, then I have to go to the Brahma Jyoti. I can't enter Vaikuntha. I don't have a spiritual body. How will I go? But my subtle body is destroyed through, actually that verse comes. Jnanena tut ajnanam yesham nashitam atmana. Bhagavad Gita, Jnanena tut ajnanam. When one attains jnana, that I am a soul, I'm not part of this material world, that realization comes, yesham nashitam atmana. Ajnana nashitam atmana. It destroys all the sins. The sins are burnt up. So anyway, that's the answer. That what happens? He doesn't have material desire, so he enters into the Brahma Jyoti. That is the light which is in Vaikuntha, but he doesn't enter the planet. He's just frozen, and like that so many jivas are there. But he'll not be happy, because he didn't come to Krishna. He'll never be fully satisfied. So he'll take birth again. he'll come back.
Where is that scope for him to have a desire to come out?
It's not that he'll have desire, but the Jeev is not satisfied with the level of happiness he has. We have to be very happy. Jeev has to be happy in order to be satisfied. Because our nature is Satchid Anand, we are supposed to be happy. If I'm not, I'll keep searching. I'll keep searching different planets, different species. I attain Brahman. From there also I'll come down. It's not about desire, but lack of that happiness which I have to fulfill. If I'm hungry, I'll go looking for food. I didn't get the food. I keep looking, like the dog, like the chicken. Whole day, if you see in the farm, chicken is looking for food, eating little. Till he gets the food, he'll not be satisfied. So that lack of satisfaction will drive us again to seek, where will I get it? What happens to these sannyasis who attain Brahman? Even here, they may attain Brahman also before birth, before death. What happens is, they avoid, then they stop material activity. But after some time, they're not happy. So they start philanthropic activities. They start to open this mission, hospital, this school, welfare activity. They do the welfare activities. You can understand, spiritually they're not satisfied. Because by doing welfare activities, it's not really material, you're not doing sense gratification. But that gives some rasa. It gives some set of sense happiness to give things, give charity. So they do that. They don't go back to material sense gratification, but they do this. Yeah.
So can we suppose imagine the situation the effulgence is there.
Yeah. Yeah.
All these jivas are living.
Yes.
Observing what is happening.
Yeah.
Some of the other jivas are trying to enter into the do they see those jivas and say, who are they going there somewhere? Do they have
Our understanding is Brahma Jyoti is made up of many souls who are frozen. They will just stay there. At that point we enter, it's actually, I said, just coming out of material world. It's very happy because the guna doesn't attack anymore. So initially we'll just stay there, happy. Not happy bliss, but lack of suffering. So we'll be there. And Shastra explains that Brahma Jyoti is blue. It's just expanse of dark blue. We are just there, and everyone is there, but we are there. We are just happy to be free from Maya. We are there. After some time, we come back. Yeah.
There is a story of Markandeya Rishi, right?
Markandeya.
He was realized slowly. Purushottam Bhagavan had came to him and he had talked with him. But some desire he had to know about
What is Maya?
Maya.
Yeah.
Then he had to go through that situation.
Yes, yes.
Destruction and
Yeah.
scene, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of, even though somebody is yogi, may have something that may cause to suffer or may cause to take birth again.
Yeah, if someone is practicing yoga, yeah, that is in Bhagavad Gita. Yoga brashta vijayate, shuchinam shimatam. He'll be born again.
Yeah, in this age it is not possible. The yoga.
Other yogas are not possible. Yeah, they're not possible. We don't have that body. Even if we have, where will you do it? Even the forest, there's no forest anymore. Mountain, yeah, then can you stay in that cold? You need heating, hot water, you know. We cannot, it's hard. So simplest is this bhakti path. But it's the highest also.
Arjuna getting knowledge from Krishna and how he again fell in Maya.
Yeah, Arjun got knowledge of, so how did he fall in Maya again? He got bewildered, but the knowledge saved him. I mean, you see, Maya attacked, but he did not succumb. When Maya attacked, the knowledge saved him.
What happened was
Huh?
what happened was
What about us? If we attain knowledge of, if we realize God, you see, even someone asked Prabhupada a challenging question in Chennai. They said, Prabhupada, that I want to know why when Arjun's son died, Abhimanyu, why did he cry? Because he attained Bhagavad Gita. He heard Gita. Why did he cry? And he cried, but then he got up and continued. He understood. Immediately, my attack, immediately he came out and went on. And if you're speaking like, okay, in the spiritual world, that level of purity, completely free, my understanding is that doesn't come until we know that in Shastra it says, to be fully free from Maya, completely free, then when we attain perfection, we enter into Krishna Leela when he comes to do his Bhauma Leela, like he did in Vrindavan. We enter into that Leela. After that we go, return to Goloka. So, but he was still, of course, if you even look deeper, Arjun is liberated. He'll never fall in Maya. He did this just to teach us. Yeah.
There are
Different lokas.
Let us say, we take the example of
Yamlok, yeah.
There also jivas are in different,
Yes.
taking different positions.
Yeah.
trying to
Yamlok also different jiva.
And there we also see that in Garud Puran how the jivas souls are being subjected to punishment.
Yeah.
So the jivas which are giving punishment over there in that situation, what is the kind of karma they get?
What kind of, the Yamadutas, what kind of karma they had to take birth as Yamadutas? I don't know, there are people who worship Yamaraj, there are people who worship Shani, the temple is here near. They'll go there. Where they are. Devan yajo yanti mad bhakti yanti. Those who worship devas, they go to the deva where they're situated. Krishna said, those who worship me, they come to me.
But because like they are also jivas.
They are
They will
jivas.
also be subjected to desires and other jivas.
They had some similar desire to lord it over people and punish them, something like that.
But they themselves are employed to punish it.
Yeah.
And they themselves get subjected to some desires.
Yes.
So
I don't understand. But they're also suffering. Everyone with the material body is suffering. But they are suffering also. They're described as having deformed features, not like I know it's deformed features. Hair is like spikes, very dark forms, and they have dogs.
like, is there any instance like where actually Yama was the son of God?
Surya,
Son of Surya.
yeah.
So he was initially very beautiful and
No, he is beautiful also.
even
No,
because
he's not looking like that, Yamadutas. He's a devotee. He's a Vaishnava. It says in Bhagavatam, there are 12 people who know. No, he says it. He says, the Mahajans, the 12 people who have Gyan, for whom you have to go to get knowledge. Let's see. Shambhu, Narada, Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu. Swayambhu is Brahma. Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu, Kumara, Kapilo Manu, Vaya, Pralada, Janako, Bhishmo, Vayasaki, Balir, Vayam. Vayam means and me. Yamaraj is speaking, and me. These 12 personalities are known as Mahajan. They know the import of the Vedas. So if you take their teachings, you can understand the essence. He said this. So he's a devotee. Okay, we'll stop, huh? You can continue after this. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.